We're 8 weeks away from the potential launch of these new consoles and we've still not got a release date or a price. Now, this could be for many reasons. Reasons that I think are to do with price, how expensive it's going to be, and whether anyone's actually going to buy these machines or not. For we are on the grips of a rather large and dangerous pandemic, and that has also brought a lot of financial strife to the areas of the world. So we've got a financial recession going on, people are losing their jobs left and right, furlough schemes are running out next month, and Microsoft and Sony, they must be thinking, why are we releasing these this year? Who still thinks this is a good idea? Especially if they're going to be really expensive pieces of kit. $5, $6, maybe even $700 expensive pieces of kit. No one's going to buy it at that price. People will probably buy it at the 500 mark. Hit anything above that and they'll be like, do you know what? No. But I'm here to tell you today that I'm actually coming to a decision. No final decision has been made, but I'm coming to the decision of buying an Xbox SX over a PS5, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Now that, in these days, amongst the rampant fanatical fan bases of either side, is quite the controversial topic of today. I have to say that I don't put myself in either camp. I own both machines at the moment in time, which being an Xbox One X and a PS4 Pro. I also own a Nintendo Switch and various retro systems. So, I don't really subscribe to this, my piece of plastic is better than your piece of plastic, because they're all pretty much the same. They're much of a muchness. Now, why would I own a Sony machine? Well, I would own a Sony machine for its amazing exclusives. The exclusivity lineup of these machines is legendary at this point, and I'm only really talking about PS4. The problem being with getting a PS5 at launch is there's not an awful lot of big name, well crafted exclusives coming out for it this November, if it indeed is coming out this November. So then I have to look to their competitor, which is Microsoft, with their Xbox One Series fucking X. Give or take a name there. I just said that completely wrong, but it really should be called the Xbox One Series X. That's a mouthful, but anyway, not important at this juncture, you taffy nose shite that you are. So what does the Xbox Series X offer me that the PS5 doesn't? Well, I play most of my third-party purchases of video games on my Xbox One X at the moment. So it makes more sense for me to then jump over to the next iteration of, or iteration if you prefer, of the Xbox, which will be the Xbox Series X, you know. I'll get higher frame rates, you know. Assassin's Creed Odyssey on my Xbox One X runs about 28 frames per second. On the Xbox Series X, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will reach, are you ready for this? 30 FPS. Fucking better be higher than that, Microsoft and Ubisoft. Barely 125,000 FPS, and I'm going to put my boot up your ass. So I've got all these purchases planned for the future and beyond, which is the extra future. I'm going to refer to the future of beyond the future as extra future, or future plus if you prefer, you know. So getting an Xbox Series X makes more financial sense because I'll have an entire back catalogue to play on it. I'll only have PS4 games to play on my PS5. Now, I have absolutely no problem with that. But when the Xbox is offering 4 generations of Xbox games on the Xbox Series X, it kind of boots Sony's arse a wee bit when they're like, well, maybe most of the PS4 games will work on the PS5. Perhaps not. We just don't know yet. And that's the big problem we've got right now. We just don't know. 8 weeks for launch, and this shit, we still don't know. I still smell a delay coming. Smells like a big fucking shite, doesn't it? So this is why I'm going to probably go with the Series X. Now, when they say 4 generations of games working on the Series, what does that actually mean? Well, they've confirmed all Xbox One games will just work natively off the back. Brilliant. So there's about 150 games right there and then I've got for my Series X. I would have something similar for PS5, but they've only said certain PS4 titles and they have not elaborated. It's just not good enough. Not good enough when it's only a few weeks away from the release. It's a farce. I'm sorry, I'm not getting my head around this whatsoever. How could they not have a release date? Anyway, so the 4 generations, I'm going to assume that's going to include the backwards compatible games that are available now for the 360 and the original Xbox. But does it mean all of them? Does it mean every Xbox 360 game? Does it mean every Xbox original game? Because that would put my back catalogue for Xbox Series X into the 500 range, you know. I've got about 330 odd games for my Xbox 360, and I've got about maybe 70 to 100 original Xbox games, plus the 150 plus games I've got for my Xbox One, and that is not including digital copies of any games whatsoever, you understand. It then lends the financial decision to actually buy a Series X over a PS5, because there was another game, Returnal it's called, and that's on the PS5. That's a PS5 exclusive. That's been confirmed to be pushed into next year. Ratchet and Clank is launch window, so that'll probably be February, March next year. You get Miles Morales, which is basically just an add-on pack for Spider-Man on the PS4, so it's going to be set in the same place. It's just going to look a little bit nicer and run a little bit better. It's then you've got Godfall, which just looks god awful. Did you like that? Like that wee pun there? It doesn't look god awful, but it just looks a little bit underbaked. It's like, you remember when the Xbox One came out and it had Rise, Son of Rome? Well, this is what that is. This is Sony's Rise, Son of Rome. It'll be a perfectly good game for around 13 quid, not 60 or 70 or whatever the fuck it is. And that's another thing that's really starting to wind its way up my colon, is them putting these prices up for no good reason. What the fuck are they putting the prices up for? Because they can, and tards will buy it. I was going to get the new Call of Duty, but it's 70 quid. I'm like, no thank you. You can bin that shite. Considering I can't even get Modern Warfare 2019 working because of some weird bug and it needs a DLC pack that doesn't seem to exist. I can't play a game I've bought. I can't play it because Activision have made a complete and utter fucking stoner of this. Bastards. So this doesn't make me an Xbox shill. You're just buying the Xbox because they've paid you. Mate, I wish they'd paid me off. See if Microsoft turned up in my email inbox and said, Craggs, you can have an Xbox Series X for nothing, saving me 500 quid. I'd fucking bite their hand off and I'd shove it on your stupid faces. Look what I got for fuck all, you daft bastards. You need to pay for it. I don't. Up your ass. So let's face it, they can swallow these costs. I think they should do that, and I'll say, Microsoft give me an Xbox SSX, whatever the fuck it is, for nothing. I will say it's better than PS5 until the cows come home. I couldn't care less. Just know that I was bought off, and if you don't trust that, then that's your problem. But I haven't been, and that's probably very never likely to happen, is it? Oh yes, 45 subscriber YouTube channel. I think they'd pass me by when they see my numbers, do you know what I mean? I'm not really... Why does everybody think people have been bought off? I mean, it's just a jealousy thing. Sony people want an Xbox One, and Xbox people want a PS5 or PS4. They just do. It's just people that can't afford it, and I have no problem with that. But see, if you can't afford it, just say, I can't afford both. I had to pick one, so I picked one. I picked a pony for the race. One ran better than the other this time, but it'll probably swap over next year. So Sony have got the exclusives, but Microsoft have got the more powerful machines, so all the multi-platform games are going to look better and run better. That's just a fact. I'm not saying one's better than the other, it's just the way it is. So that lends me to think, well, do I really need a PS5 at this point in time? Well, the answer's no. Do I really need an Xbox SX either? No, not really, but I'm going to be playing quite demanding games down the line towards the end of the year, like Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. So I do want that extra bang for my buck, so to speak. And I think that just getting that level of fidelity of performance and visuals, it's not the be-all and end-all, but if you can't afford it, I would expect you to upgrade, but you probably will. I don't think anything I'm going to say in this video is going to convince you either way to upgrade one or the other or both. It's just, if these machines are going to be horrendously expensive, I only really want to buy one of them, and most of my gaming's going to be going on Xbox because it already does for multi-platform exclusives for Sony. They just don't have enough yet, so I'll probably pick up PlayStation 5 next year when Horizon 2 Forbidden West comes out. That might not be to the end of next year, so it may be a while before I decide to plunge into a PS5. Plus, I know Microsoft have got a good cooling system for the Xbox Series X, something that Sony, I hope, have learned from their PS4 days, because this thing is a fucking hairdryer and I absolutely detest it. Hate playing games and I can't relax. I keep feeling the machine's just going to spontaneously combust, and that'll be that. That'll be the game inside it wrecked and the fucking machine gone, and probably the bloody hard drive and my TV and my house. So yeah, I just think that's the way it works best for me this year. Hope you all understand. Actually, fuck off if you don't. Quite frankly, that's just the way it's working. And I hope you have a good night, and I will speak to you in the next video, whenever that shall be. Adios.